Halo Combat Evolved. Of course, one of the most recognizable games of all time, and definitely the game that this system is known for. This legendary first-person shooter was developed by Microsoft Studios. In my opinion, this was the game that legitimized the original Xbox. This game really showed what the system can do, and it really cemented its place as a legitimate competitor with the PlayStation 2. There was nothing like this on the PlayStation 2, and definitely nothing like this on the GameCube. While this game, in my opinion, is definitely not the best game on this system, it's definitely an absolutely awesome game. And you're gonna be able to pick it up for like $2 or $3 probably, complete, just because of how many there were sold. I mean, there were 24 million Xboxes sold, and 5 million people bought this game alone. So if you figured that, it's about 20% of the people who owned original Xboxes owned Halo, which is absolutely unbelievable, making it the second highest selling game, only behind Halo 2. I've been thinking about how I was going to frame this game, and I think the best way to describe this game is as the first modern video game. That's quite a bit of praise, but I think it's accurate, because if you look at games that came before this on the N64 and the PS1 and even the Dreamcast, even though the Dreamcast was only about a year before this, I think there's definitely a fine line that those games graphically could not compete with this. The game is clearly much larger in scale than games that you would see on the N64 or the PS1. I'll probably take a lot of heat for saying this, but as I play through more of the original Xbox library, I'm starting to think this game is not one of the greatest games. I might probably put it down more around 5 or 6. Definitely top 10, but not the greatest game on the system. I'm not exactly sure where I placed it on my top 10 list at this point. I'll have to go back and check. But I mean, I think there are better games. You look at Halo 2, Panzer Dragoon Orta, KOTOR. I think there are some better games out there, but this is an absolutely fantastic game. And you have to take into account this game was published when the system was first coming out. And honestly, this is a role model for what companies should be able to do, even for early games. Because this game was tremendous. The gameplay absolutely felt perfect. The weapons felt great. The controls felt great. The one thing I think that separates this game a little bit behind Halo 2 and some of the other games is some of the detail on the wall backgrounds, textures, simple things like that. Even crossing this bridge right here, I mean, you can see it's just a little bit less detailed than you might see in some of the games that came out in 2005. 2004, at the end of the original Xbox's life cycle. I mean, and that's to be expected. It doesn't really take away from the game, but it's just one of those things that makes it a little bit inferior to Halo 2 in my opinion. But definitely to bring this back onto a positive note, because this game is an absolutely fantastic game, and I don't want to give the wrong impression of it. The multiplayer in this game was absolutely fantastic. I don't believe they had Xbox Live at the time. Maybe they might have had it, but just in the beginning stages. But the actual LAN play, just playing with people in your house, was amazing. Sitting around a couple of buds, just shooting each other was unlike anything else at the time or before. The weapon selection in this game was really amazing too. It's probably the first game I played like this. I remember as a kid, man, I was blown away. Absolutely fantastic story. One thing that little pissed me off as a kid though was the flood. I remember renting this game as a kid, man, and I was actually scared of this game. I couldn't play through it when I first rented it, but I did go back and I did finish it up. And obviously, I mean, the vehicles that you could drive in this game was absolutely a blast, revolutionary in my opinion. Really, I mean, just going from standard running around with guns to actually getting into the vehicles was seamless. It's something that really wasn't around at the time. I keep saying that, but this game was so revolutionary on so many fronts, and it did such a great job of modernizing video games. And this is what the system is going to be remembered for. Games like this, Halo 2, Fable. The feel of this game is unlike anything on any other system, and it's really a unique original Xbox game.